All right. We are exploring what it really means to find joy in the everyday.
I find joy in being able to have friends to text, being able to have friends that are just able to just be bored with me, family to talk to, if times are tough, even food, just being able to order food.
As I got older, it changed. It's much more a quieter thing and it's more introspective.
I even told my parents, I was like, when you pass, you guys are gonna have the best video ever. I'm gonna put together an amazing video that we're gonna watch at your funeral.
What I've noticed as well with this young generation, they're very, very good in communication somehow. I like my nephew, for example, is very eloquent and very articulate about their emotions. And I was never like that when I was in the age.
Me neither.
Joy doesn't need to be loud. Give permission to slow down. Notice more.
Maybe you can catch it in everyday moments.
Exactly. Yes. Matthew, Larisa, welcome to Kirbylicious Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much both for being here. I'm grateful to share this space with you and to have this conversation today.
Yes, of course.
My
I'm excited.
pleasure.
Yes. So let's start by introducing ourselves to our listeners and viewers. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Share a little bit about what your days most look like right now, and one small thing that's brought you joy recently. Okay, let's start with you, Larisa.
Sure. So I'm Larisa, boxer. I am originally from Ukraine, but that's been, I came to the US when I was 11 and I'm 58. As far as my day, well, I'm retired. I've been retired for a few years and I still feel like I don't have enough time for everything. So I keep myself pretty busy. Of course, there's always housework and chores, and we have 2 children. Adult children, and we have a grandson who's 7. And then since I retired, I try to focus more on my health. So I've been able to set up some exercises almost daily. So there's that, and have some hobbies. All that keeps me pretty busy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm Matthew. I'm currently a student right now. I major in film and media studies. So I'm all about behind the scenes, but I also act as well. So I'm trying to get work in front and behind the camera. I was born in New York, but I was actually raised in Canada, lived there for about 15 years. And then in 2020, moved back to the US. And now I'm here in California doing what I love. Usually right now, my days look like usually starting off in the gym. I like to try to get a workout in really bright and early in the morning, whether it's in the gym or on a run. Then, I'll make myself some food. I'll try to answer emails, do any homework when school begins up again. And then, usually end the evening hanging out with friends before heading back to bed. That's usually like a perfect day. So I think something that brings me joy is kind of just being able to have that routine, being able to just have something organized that I can control in my life right now.
Right. And for our viewers and listeners, I just want to make sure that this is your first time that you guys met to each other.
Yes.
That's why we're so excited to learn from each other today.
Yes.
For sure.
I'd like to start by doing a flavor check-in. Matthew, if the small and ordinary moments in your life had a flavor right now, what would they taste like?
Good question. If the small and ordinary moments in my life had a flavor right now, I think they would be kind of salty. And here, I'll explain this. I have a favorite popcorn. It's called Skinny Pop. By itself, the popcorn is kind of just bland, but with like multiple pieces of popcorn all together, you kind of have that little salty taste to it. So it's not salty in a bad way, but there's these, I guess, little specific things that are kind of just bland on their own, but together, hanging out with friends or family, that is where I really get the full flavor. So I guess right now it's salty, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say chocolate, only because that's my thing.
I love chocolate.
I love dark chocolate. How does it relate to my joy? I guess it gives me joy. I'm not sure how to relate it in other ways.
Do you have a favorite chocolate brand?
I mean, Godiva is nice.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is it at 80% cacao or?
I try to, to stay at the 80, 70, 80, 90% cacao. Yeah, it's good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Today's topic, all right, we are exploring what it really means to find joy in the everyday. This is not the big moments. These are all the quiet and ordinary. What it really means to find joy in the everyday. And how has that relationship with joy changed over time? And what did joy look like earlier in your life and compared now? Let's start with you, Matt. You're 21.
21. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay.
Like, what was the joy like before and then now?
5 years ago, I was 16 and I was still living in Canada at that time. I feel like back then, finding joy was being rewarded. I was on a basketball team. I did track. I did theater. Anytime that I scored varsity in high school, my efforts were recognized and rewarded. It was like very specific things, especially materialistic things in a way. Now, I find joy in being able to have friends to text, being able to have friends that are just able to just be bored with me, family to talk to, if times are tough. Even food, just being able to order food or just go visit a spot. I have a huge sweet tooth. So, having little pastries or candies, all those little things bring me joy.
Did you have some similar joy when in the past?
Yeah, I can relate. I think in my earlier years, finding joy was kind of a more active pursuit, I'd say, such as connecting with my friends, of course, doing new things, going to new places. A lot of it was about discovering life. As I got older, it changed. It's much more a quieter thing. I have realized that I enjoy being by myself, doing my own thing. My hobbies, sewing, alterations, reading. And of course, there's always stuff to learn. So I enjoy learning. Right now, I'm interested in optimizing your health. Now I have more time to give to that. And so I guess it's not as active, it's quieter, and it's more introspective.
Matt, do you have any comments about that?
I do like how you say it's like an active pursuit. Most definitely. I feel, but I guess but you're not saying like you're chasing joy, right? Like
No, I didn't mean to say that I was chasing it. I think it wasn't really a conscious thing.
Okay.
I think as a young person, you really want to know life. You want to discover.
Most definitely.
Right?
You said something like, yes, it was an active pursuit, but also being able to experience new things. Like having the opportunity to try new things or experience new things. I think that's awesome. I find joy in that all the time. And I always try to experience new things.
Yeah, that's human nature, I think.
Like as of now, I love being out with friends or hanging out when I can. And it could have been when I first got here because I was like alone when I first moved to California. So for that first year, I didn't know anyone. I wasn't really out because I didn't know where to be. Now that I'm here in college, I get to see my friends all the time. And I feel like I need to take advantage of that before we all grow up and we split our separate ways.
Yeah, you have a few years.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about the shaping forces of how our joy change over time because responsibilities, right? And then we have we experience grief, we experience success, and then aging. So let's talk about responsibilities. Like, how is that shaping your experience of joy today?
Now I have a lot more responsibilities than I did when I was younger, for sure. Like even just taking care of myself. Although I think it's nice to be able to have that sort of freedom now. I mean, I have my own car now. I can drive. I live thousands of miles from my parents. So I mean,
freedom.
I have the freedom. But even then, that does mean, that I'm not completely, I know I'm never on my own. I know I can always reach out to family, but that does mean that I'm on my own. by, having to get groceries for myself, little things like that. Little things that I never had to think about. Something specific that I thought about recently was the fact that I used to just come home from school and like my mom would already have dinner ready. Now I have to start thinking about what I'm going to be having for dinner. And besides even being like able to afford it, because money's not an issue, just the fact that I need to have the time to cook and prepare and just even think like, what am I going to make? These are the little things that I never had to think about when I was younger. And so now I have to actually do that. I told my mom about it. I was like, wow, like I really didn't understand how good I had it when I was younger.
Right.
And you can't until you live
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
But I will say, because I'm on my own and I have to cook for myself, that only makes the food taste that much better, because all of that time and energy and effort that I put into creating this meal.
Right.
I guess that's where I find my joy.
There you go. So that is shaping you. What are your thoughts on that, Larisa?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, this is a saying that everybody knows: with freedom comes responsibility. In my earlier years, raising kids and working and making dinners, it's extremely busy time, very busy. So there was really no time for myself. And so now I'm retired. The kids are pretty much grown. A lot of joy for me comes from just taking time for myself, even only to process the day's events. It gives me a lot of joy.
It really is a complete contrast. The responsibilities for young ones is really more about themselves, and the responsibilities for the older one is really about serving.
Sure, taking
care of the
well
others.
said,
Yeah.
Kirby,
And again, that's how we evolve. Let's talk about grief. How is that grief? I mean, you're young. I'm pretty sure that you grieve some things, I guess. How is that shaping your experience about joy?
Luckily, I can say, because I'm young, the only thing I've had to grieve, I think, is like the loss of a pet. I had a pit bull terrier mix. Her name was Mocha. She's a fantastic dog all through my childhood. And when she passed, of course, unfortunately, I wasn't there because I was here in California.
Right.
So it was really sad. I cried. I went through the whole little, I guess, the stages of grief or whatever.
Right.
Then I decided to create a video. My way of coping was to create a video of all the memories that we had together, or just as a family. And one thing my mom said was that she was like, it was very sad, of course, but she said that she was so grateful that we had so many photos and videos of us together with Mocha. And I I didn't think about it like that at first, because I was just like, I just wanted to create this video. And I will forever have that, little compilation of all of the fun moments that we had together. And that makes you feel good, especially because I know that I even told my parents, I was like, when you pass, you guys are gonna have the best video ever. I'm gonna put together an amazing video that we're gonna watch at your funeral. So I can joke about that, and we can have fun that way. Besides people or like living things, I grieve the loss of, like, I'm a very competitive person.
Right.
So I grieve the loss of debates that I've lost or different campaign things. I had a speech for a class, and it ended up going beyond the class into like actually the entire university.
Wow.
And it was pretty cool, but then I had lost, and I felt like I mean, there were probably many reasons, but I felt like I was cheated or I shouldn't have lost. And I still think about it. I mean, I'm talking about it.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just little things like that. But in a way, I feel like I haven't had too much experience in that area.
Well, yeah, I guess with life experience, you do go through more losses. And I think that makes the moments of joy more special, more valued, from a little bit kind of a different field. Being from a different culture originally, there's an interesting, so joy can have influence by culture. The culture I had formative years, it was an interesting view on joy, and that is, it was a little bit feared, which unexpected. And that was because a lot of people were afraid to feel joy. they were afraid, oh, I must not feel too joyful because that may bring something bad,
Mm.
something tragic.
Mm.
So it's kind of sad
Mhm.
because then they prevent themselves
Right.
from it fully experience.
Yeah, I mean that's true because like culturally, your belief system really formed and programmed and conditioned, by the culture, by the
For
society
sure.
where you're from. And
Mhm.
I too can say that, being too joyful, it means that, expect there's tragedy coming or some bad things coming. So that definitely deprived people from expressing joy. That's why we're sharing our perspective, our wisdom, and then live experience about this topic because the world is changing right now. Your world
Yeah.
is changing, and especially your generation right now. You guys have access to, oh my god, so much information.
Yeah.
It's so like loaded of information, which I never had, and Larisa's generation never had. How is success shaping your experience with joy today?
Mhm. I feel like success only pushes me to continue.
Mm.
Every time I have those little moments where I know that I'm doing something right or that I've like succeeded in something, it continues to encourage me to just go for the next thing or whatever that may be. And obviously getting a win is great. It makes me feel good.
Mm.
So I think that's where I find joy when it comes to success.
What about you, Larisa?
I think every time we succeed in something, it builds confidence. And as I get older, I definitely feel more confident in myself. That gives me joy just to experience confidence. Because when I was younger, that I didn't feel confident.
So what I'm trying to wrap up with this topic about this, the shaping forces from responsibilities, from grief to success. With that experiences you have, how does joy show up in those moments? Give me a particular example in your life, Matt, when you had these responsibilities, or when you have this success, or when you have this grief. Did you ever think joy in it? And right now, when you're 21 years old, when you're experiencing something, do you find, or do you have a moment to say like, I can be happy with this moment in spite of the situation?
I had a pretty big success when I was living in Canada. I had an acting competition and I had won, and it was awesome. So of course I'm happy because I won the competition, but I'm also happy because I saw my mom and my sister in the audience, you know, standing, cheering, clapping. So showing up is so important. I don't care what people say. Like being able to see my family there supporting me. Same thing goes for recently. I had a show, and it was just we'd finished and seeing family because I couldn't see them. I also don't like being able to see people in the audience. I always like look straight to the stage lights because I'm like, I don't want to see people.
Yeah.
But seeing my family members there in
Sure.
the audience cheering, those are always huge moments of joy for me. When it comes to maybe failures or griefs, trying to think of a specific example. Well, yeah, actually, even that speech that I didn't do good in, I did have a friend come and bring me flowers, even though it wasn't going to be, even though like whether I won or lost, the support of people showing up is so important to me. I don't know. Like you have to show up. Yeah. When I guess I just go back to the Mocha situation when we had lost our family dog, we had those memories and just thinking about the way that she moved from Canada to Texas with us,
Right.
those are little moments of joy. And you know what? I noticed that I don't find them immediately in the moment. I think about it later on. And it's usually maybe not even me that thinks about it originally. Maybe it'll be someone coming from an outside source, like making me realize like, oh yeah, like that is something I should be grateful for or something I should think is, very positive afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a similar experience when you were young?
After experiencing difficult times, you kind of can look back and see that life has ups and downs.
Yes.
And realizing that is kind of comforting because even if the time is difficult,
Mhm.
you know that eventually it'll be better, that
Mm,
it will get better.
mm. So this perspective right now is where you are in your age. But when you were younger, did you ever think like that before?
Right. No, I think when I was younger, I was more emotional
Mm.
about difficult times. I didn't have the perspective that it's going to get better. It's like I had this, it's going to be terrible, terrible things that are going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to
Mm.
fix it. It's more scary. I guess that would be a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. I think when we are all young, we're all, reactive,
Yes.
and we are trying to seek for answers and fix things. We want to have the control.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to have the control to the outcome,
Yeah.
right? Because we want to be happy. We just want to feel good,
Right.
right? So that's the reason why, like, I'm seeing this contrast and it's beautiful wisdom because Larisa comes from a matured and more experienced when she's like, when shit happens, it's okay because it's a wave,
Right.
And then Matthew would say like, I'm just gonna rely on my family. I'm happy, I'm supported, I'm loved because I have
Mhm.
my family. It's a beautiful contrast. So when joy shows up, I'm curious about you, Larisa. How does it feel? Does it feel loud or quiet, fleeting or steady?
It depends,
Mm.
right, on the situation. A quiet moment of joy is, like I mentioned before, sitting with my book, not feeling guilty that I'm not being productive, just listening to a podcast that
Mm.
interests me. Those are quiet moments of joy. And then the louder ones, for example, when I get together with my friends of over 40 years,
Mm.
and it's very exciting.
Mhm.
We share and we laugh,
Mm.
and I realized the reason it's so special is because they know me and
Mhm.
I feel seen.
Mm. Mm.
And I think a lot of joy comes from being seen
Exactly.
through people that truly know you
Mm.
and get you.
I call it spiritual connection. How about you, Matthew?
I like what you said, being without having to feel guilty about not being productive.
Right.
Because I've had moments where it's like I feel like I can just chill, but like I should be doing something. I don't know. Especially where I am right now, it's like I should if I want to like, spend like an hour or two playing video games, it's like no, I should be finding a way to prepare myself for the future, build my career.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I feel like although you can have joy, whether it's like a fleeting moment of joy, quiet joy, loud moments of joy. Some specific examples, I'll go into family again. My family's very loud. Extended family's also very loud, but being together with my loud family is like it's awesome. I
Yeah.
get to be with those people. Quiet moments of joy, again, being bored with my friends, I just know that I have another person who just wants to be in my area, just like whether they want to just chill and scroll on their phone, like they wanted to be in my company. That brings me joy, knowing that someone wants me around them. And then fleeting moments, maybe having to say goodbye. Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened or something. Like,
Yes.
glad that it happened.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's I got to hang out with people, or I got to do this thing. I got to compete, or I got to travel. And it's fun and it's amazing, but then it's over. So that could be like a fleeting moment, I think.
Yeah. It's just an interesting observation right now for me is that we talk about the meaningful connections and with you spending time with your friends of over 40s, having that conversation, feeling seen. And Matthew is being surrounded with his friend, even not talking, but just being around.
Yeah.
It's also a sense of meaningful connection.
Yes,
You know?
exactly.
So like two different generations experiencing the same thing, but executing completely different.
Yeah,
But
joy
the-
from connection.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious, these days in your life, now you're back here in LA.
Mhm.
You taking care of your family. Like today, how does joy show up for you today?
Good question. Ooh. How does joy show up for me today?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
No, just giving you time. I was totally looking forward to getting together here. This is
Mhm.
this gave me joy for the last couple of weeks. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's very exciting and new experience.
Yeah.
Being able to hang out with family has been awesome. But now I get to see the friends that I haven't seen in a month and a half. Being able to, or the anticipation that's leading up to it. Starting new classes. I like going to school. Like I have a perfect attendance. I don't have any absences. I know it's kind of nerdy, but I like being able to go to class. Even getting dressed for class, I get to show off my new outfit. That brings me joy. Getting to cook for myself in the mornings, trying new different protein shakes, trying different workouts in the gym. That brings me joy. And then ending the evenings, maybe going on a last minute trip. I usually like to plan things. I'm not too spontaneous, but I have spontaneous friends, so they keep my life interesting.
Nice.
So being able to just finish class and hop in the car and go grab some food or something. Those moments bring me joy. Right now.
That's fun. Like
Right,
I remember when I was young, like that's the spontaneous hangouts and catch up with friends. And that freedom away from family, it's like you
Yes,
can
yeah.
like you don't have to ask permission and you just decide for yourself. That's joy. And I'm also like I live most of my time by myself, and I'm in the age of my life right now that I really love my hiking. I love my long walks and driving, and just seeing new sceneries. Being with the nature.
Mhm.
It's for me. I like to, as much as possible. I watch the sunrise and sunset every day.
Wow.
So I'm very lucky. I get to do that here in my balcony. It's just I see it every day.
That's awesome.
It makes my day very, very happy. But when I was younger, like, what's the hottest party this weekend?
yeah.
What's the new trend? What's the new camera? What's the new phone? What's the new fashion? It's like it's really something external, and that's again because the culture and the people that you're surrounded with, and it's a good thing. It's a good experience as well. So Matt, as you listen to Marisa, what do you notice? Do you have similarity? Do you have differences? What was your takeaway from her experience?
For sure. I feel like I can name similarities and differences. When it comes to similarities, the new experiences thing is a big thing for me. Being able to try new experiences or new things, different challenges, that is a similarity that I find to be pretty cool and also important. I feel like it's so important because, as you said, a human experience. I know that I have plenty to experience still when it comes to differences. I do like my alone time, but as of right now, the only alone time I really need is like when I'm going to bed, like late nights. It's like, okay, I'll be alone, and I know that I'm a little bit of an extrovert in some areas, especially in areas that I'm comfortable in. But yeah, I think another similarity that I found was like the little things. Like the little things just bring joy. I remember you had said something where you were like, "What's the next party? What's the latest thing?" I realized that social media has kind of like it's kind of not ruined it, but it makes it feel a lot more different because it's so like oversaturated now. There's so much stuff going on. So actually, you know what? This probably is more like a similarity actually, because being able to try those different things or stay away from a lot of that, I do feel slightly like unproductive, and I feel like that can be a little like guilty feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you experience fear of missing out during some of these events?
You know what? I used to have like a lot of FOMO, and I've definitely grown as a person for sure. Because I used to have FOMO like crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's not as much. I can't say that I don't have FOMO. I feel like I know that I do in some areas, but not as much Like if it was like on a scale from 1 to 10, I used to be at 10.
Right.
Now I'm at like 3 or 4.
Wow.
Maybe even 2. That's probably stretching it. But yeah, I used to have a lot of FOMO.
That's
I
impressive.
feel like I've grown out of it. I think the biggest thing that helps me is if my friends aren't going, then I don't have to worry. But if my friends do go, then I'm
Right.
like, where was my invite?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is like with my generation before, we didn't have a social media. So when there's an event, everybody goes in that event because that's the only thing, the event that we know of. So you were like, if my friends go and I don't go, I'm like, no, I'm missing out the fun. Yeah, but right now it's like, I don't mind if I don't go this one. I'm gonna go to the next one.
Yeah.
It's like, or I'm gonna go there like the following day, another event. So you have like more options.
Choices, options.
Yeah, and you can also see right away like how bad it is, or what's the reviews, and
Yeah.
like you have more information.
Yes.
Before it was so like single,
Mhm.
like we only get our news from television or newspaper, so everybody have the same information. But right now, like all over the place, there's a party, 3 parties or 4 parties at night, so you can choose from, so you don't feel like, no, we're not missing out at all. So
Yeah.
that is so interesting for me, because and it's so funny because like in your age, yeah, for me at 21 years old, like definitely I was like, I want what's new, I want to experience it.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you too?
Well, let me first ask, what is FOMO?
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. FOMO is it's an acronym for fear of missing out.
Of course.
There you go. Younger wisdom teaching the older wisdom.
Yes.
Oh, that's one thing. I'm sure maybe your daughter is probably like
I'm
this,
sure
but
I
there are
would have
so
asked.
many different terms now with like different things.
Like short.
Mhm.
Yeah, of course, I can relate to what you're saying. Being young, natural to want to explore life, experience life. Part of that is it helps to figure out ourselves, kind of in reflection with others. And I think for that reason, when we're younger, we have a higher need for approval from the outside, which is typical and completely normal
Yeah.
because we're still trying to gauge who we are.
Totally. Do you have a story for us to share when you were young in Ukraine? You were like depending on the external to feel you joy, to give you joy. Do you have an example for us? Because it's a different culture and lifestyle there when you were younger.
Yes. Well, I can't think of a specific one, but what comes to mind is something culturally similar, actually. And that is kids at that age. I left, I was 11. They want to be popular.
Of course.
They want to fit in.
Right.
And it was the same there, or you want to
Yes.
be part of the popular circle.
Right.
And again, that's going back to approval
Sure.
from the external, again, to help you gauge life and who you are.
Right.
So that is very similar. I guess it's human nature.
Absolutely. And that is Matt's generation right now, that it's some sort of like amplify because of the use of social media.
Yeah, most definitely. And people still want to be popular. People still want to fit in.
Of course.
Yeah. It's the validation. When I start using social media and with my business as well, it really affected my mental health, because when I was doing the social media part of my business, it's all about likes, it's all about views, it's all about shares. Your value is being
outside you.
Yeah, in terms of the performance.
Yeah.
Right. And that was my experience, and that really took a toll on my mental health, because I always like crave for like higher views, higher shares, and I lost the track of myself. So yeah, joy is definitely in a way this in modern life has evolved, because we're using technology to also enhance our joy, it can also affect.
Yes.
It can in the opposite of as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword. To be
Exactly.
careful.
Right. And have a balance, right? Do you
Balance.
see this one to your peers? How's this technology destroying their lives and their joy because of misuse of it?
Yeah, I think it definitely takes a toll on one's mental health. With a lot of social media now, there are algorithms that cater towards your specific interests. So I think depending on what side of social media you're on, can definitely affect your mental health.
Mhm.
A lot of the time, it can just be silly or entertaining, or it can be educational.
Right.
But there are definitely areas in which some people find themselves on, sides of social media that
Mhm.
have no benefit towards them in any shape or form.
Yeah.
With my specific friends,
Yeah.
everyone, I guess the people that I've associated myself with hold themselves to a standard, I think. Of course, if there are any issues, like I'm always there for them, and they're always there for me. My peers that are closer to me, I haven't seen too much of issues with a lot of the media.
So right now with your life, do you experience joy more as something you chased or something you allow, Larisa?
Oh, yeah. Definitely less chasing, more allowing. Yeah. I think with age, I've learned to let go of the illusion of control.
Yeah.
I figured, I don't have control anyway. And oftentimes things you want aren't necessarily good for you and vice versa. So I've learned to trust the universe and just let joy come naturally and try to focus and catch those moments more. I think it takes it takes experience to develop that.
Sure. Do you feel the same?
You know what? I feel like for a lot of the time, I kind of just allowed joy to come find me. But then I think about it, and honestly, I feel like I've been chasing joy a little bit, only because there are specific goals that I have that I feel like I need. Well, I mean, I want to reach them. I want to reach my goals
course.
naturally. I know that I can't let those goals determine whether I'm happy or not, or whether I experience joy. So I would say both, and both equally. There's not really one more than the other. I allow joy to come, but I do think that I'm still chasing it a little bit. So
Yeah. And it's very normal.
For sure.
It's all about experiencing life, the best teacher, right? And my generation, we grew up with like a to-do list. Like you go to school, you graduate, you get a degree, and then you get a job. And then it's like for us there's this culture definition about what success is. So that really give us push to be ambitious.
Yes.
And the journey of getting to that level of success that you want to achieve, you somehow sell your soul. You lost the joy.
You let the society kind of tell you what you supposedly want.
Yes.
And it takes some distance and some growth to understand, well, that's not necessarily for me.
Yes.
I do fear that, as I pursue the current industry that I want to be involved in.
Yeah.
How bad do you want it? What are you willing to do for it?
Yeah.
And I don't want to get caught up in like anything that goes against my values or my personal goals. Like I don't want to have to sell myself short for anything.
And what do you do to be grounded and to be in the center?
The biggest thing that I do to be grounded is I know that I can rely on others, and I know that this is not something that I have to do on my own. Now, of course, I have to want it the most. I can't have other people wanting something for me more than me. So to keep me grounded, I talk to friends and family. Like it's always about friends and family. I talk to friends and family about these things
It's very
because I know that I
important.
can, especially for friends or family that are older than me. The fact that they have more life experience than me, I know that I can trust and take advice and judgment.
Do you, when you were younger, you use friends and family to and get you grounded?
Yes, and you mentioned friends and family a lot, and that's great. I think that's great. As a parent, I tell my daughter, I want them to know that we're here. And I try to, it's kind of a balance. I try not to be intrusive
Mhm.
because she's developing her own independence. I get that, but I still want her to know that I'm there and that she can come to us.
What I've noticed as well with this young generation, they're very, very good in communication somehow. I like my nephew, for example, is very eloquent and very articulate about their emotions. And I was never like that when I was in the
Me
age.
neither. Me neither. And I agree. Our daughters are also very good communicators and eloquent and
Yeah.
expressing.
Yeah.
And I don't think I was
Yeah.
that way.
I've noticed with Matt and even like with this, with the previous guest, like I'm just like, oh my God, they're so advanced. They're very expressive.
Yeah.
I could not even formulate like, because again, well, my generation is like so goal oriented,
Mhm.
and we are just so sharp focused to
Mhm.
achieving it. And like, the younger ones right now, like, why do I need it? You have this,
Yes.
you really are very intentional and like have a pause and like, why? Like you
Right.
ask questions. So for us, I never ask questions because I'm like, no, that's the goal.
That's the go-
That's the goal.
Yeah. And speaking to that, my daughter, that generation, she's pretty much your age. When she was looking for work, she says, I want to find work that gives me work-life balance. To us, that was never even a concept, because you have your goal and you better do everything you can to achieve it. And that will mean you're successful.
Yeah.
It's very different now,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
good. That is a really good thing.
What do you say about that in your generation? Where do you guys like get it from?
Oh, I honestly, I think it might be social media as well, only because people are able to like share their experiences from all over.
Yeah.
And you know that you don't have a specific path to follow. You know that you can do whatever you want. And I think now, because that's become so normalized, that you can just do whatever you want instead of having to deal with, like, I guess, societal pressures or something. Like, you can just focus on whatever your main passion is and find your way to pursue it in like in still a professional fashion. But having the support from strangers online also can help. I mean, of course, it's a double-edged sword, but I think it's just become so normalized among Gen Z that even the younger generations are still going to be.
I believe so, because I spoke to one Gen Z and he said like, yeah, we grew up, we see everything online already. So if we want in this direction, we already know how it ends up.
They have a lot more information.
Right. And they see everything, and it gives them the control or like understanding, like
more understanding of life earlier.
Yeah. And I also feel like they understand that money is really not the ultimate satisfaction, and for my generation, it was like, we have to do this one to get money. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot. I mean, yes, of course, money definitely helps you do a lot of what you're trying to do, but people want to go see the world, and they want to, or a lot of people have the YOLO mindset. You only live once. YOLO.
Oh, thank you.
They have the YOLO mindset. And so
I'm learning so much.
I feel like that also guides their decisions. And yeah, it's okay among Gen Z to not be able to do a lot of things. And even now, a lot of my generation has come to terms with the fact that a lot of us might not be homeowners, just because like when it was our time to become adults, certain issues within like politics or even the economy have surfaced. And so
Yeah.
a lot of it is just kind of that oh well, we just got to keep on doing what we're doing mindset. So.
And that's a very good segue for the next question is that, when joy feels distant, what do you do to, what helps you to return to yourself? So many pressure from society, your friends, and your work. So what do you do to return to yourself, Larisa?
I try to remind myself to switch focus to the positives because we always have both the positives and the negatives always. The difference is where do we choose to focus? So I have to remind myself to focus on the good things.
Gratitude.
Yes, gratitude.
You know what? Specifically within the industry that I'm pursuing again, or acting. I remember when I first signed with my agent, she told me you're going to hear a lot of no's before you hear your one yes. So I have heard a lot of no's, but I have gotten that one yes where I've been able to book a gig and really feel like this is like what I want to do. Because I've been through that, I already know that yes, if joy feels distant, I know that I'm going to hear a lot of no's. Eventually, I'm going to get that yes. And that's like the mindset that I've kind of implemented in like all kinds of areas to reach joy that's distant. I will find goals in order to get there. So then find the next closest thing and, work my way up. But yeah, I don't think it ever discourages me to continue. I think I've always just had that mindset. So
let's talk about a habit or a practice that you no longer to take for granted to make sure you can return yourself and have that peace. You mentioned, Larisa, gratitude. Is there any other practices and habit that you implement?
I think taking time for myself, not feeling like I constantly have to be productive. I put that pressure on myself without even realizing it.
Sure.
I got to kind of step back and say, my mental health is more important. I have to do read something inspirational or listen to an inspirational podcast. That really helps. So yeah.
For the last couple of years, I've been told that your 20s are the years where you need to work the most.
Yes.
So I do feel like I need to be productive.
Sure.
But when it comes to like activities to keep me grounded, wait, was that the question?
Yeah.
When it comes to activities to keep me grounded, I try to familiarize myself with kind of getting uncomfortable. I know that I need to get better at reaching out to people. That's one of my weaknesses. So whether it's, sending emails to professors or like professionals outside of school, the worst they can say is no, or the worst they can or not even respond. So just learning to get uncomfortable because I know that I can't stay comfortable or else I'm just not going to progress at all.
Yeah.
I like how you said that you're learning to be uncomfortable. I think that's great.
And in your age, definitely confidence is definitely a challenge. The no's, the failures is a gift, but you don't see it right away. I hope your generations would be different, but in our generations, it would be when I fail, I make it as an identity.
Yeah.
And again, because we didn't have access to podcasts or books or informations like mental health or personal development.
So yeah, I will say definitely having that social media makes it a lot more easier to cope with the fact that yes, I had this failure, but it's not who I am.
I have a similar answer with Larisa because with my life right now, I never take for granted to have a time for myself. The more I spend time with myself, the more I am more effective to interacting the people around me because I am more present and I am more kind. So the habits I really implement is meditation every day. breath work, journaling, exercise, and the same with Marisa as Larisa, it was just optimizing the health. It's because as you age, your body is operating completely different.
Mhm.
Like when I was younger, I can sleep 4 hours, but I can perform like completely fine and go a lot of things in a day. Hearing the answers from older wisdom math, this gives you a confidence that these are the experiences from the older people and you will benefit from this. It gives you a
Mhm.
sense of hope,
Yeah.
because we gone through those phases too, and with even little resources and information. What do you think about that?
I think being able to have those resources definitely puts us ahead, although a lot of people don't use them
Mm,
or they don't use them to their advantage. Like
mm,
they use them for silly things. So I think it depends on the person.
mm.
I think it really depends on the person because we have so many resources, like literally in our fingertips, but not everyone, I guess, uses it
Mhm.
in an educational way. They might use it in a way that's entertaining them,
Sure.
but not in a way that's benefiting them.
Okay, so before we close this conversation, I am curious to learn from each one of you, what is one ordinary moment in your life right now that feels sacred to you? Ordinary moment that feels sacred to you.
What feels sacred to me, I'm not gonna lie, is sleep. I have so many friends who love staying up late, but I have created a specific bedtime for me,
Awesome.
and I know that no matter where I am, I'm planning my nighttime routine to the moment I hit my bed. That's really sacred to me to be able to have that again routine.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like that's really important to me. Another moment that I would also think is really sacred is being able to go out and watch movies.
Mm.
There's a lot of streaming services, but being able to just go sit in a theater and experience it on the big screen, I find that very sacred and experience a lot of those movies with friends and family. But every now and then I'll just go and see a film by myself and not having a person. I'll talk like maybe to like my neighbor beside me or whatever, be like, oh my gosh, does this happen or something? But when I don't have those people to talk to
Yeah.
and I just have to sit with my thoughts, I feel like that's pretty powerful. Yeah, I think movies are pretty sacred to me.
Wow. That's what we do, old people. We sit on our thoughts.
Yeah.
Old soul.
You are an old
Oh.
soul.
Maybe.
What about you, Larisa?
It's I'm repeating myself, but taking time for myself.
Sure.
I wasn't able to do for many years.
Sure.
I mean, it's just natural stages of life.
Yes.
When you're raising kids,
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, of course, spending time with our kids because they're busy with their lives,
Sure.
and we get that.
Mhm.
Spending time with our kids, a grandson, that's really special.
Joy doesn't need to be loud. When we slow down and you give yourself time for yourself or be alone in your own thoughts,
Yeah.
and that's when you can feel the energy of the joy. That's what I wanted the viewers to remember, that give permission to slow down,
Mm.
right? And notice more. It's good to be surrounded with people, but when you're alone, and you mentioned also when you're like with your friends and just doing nothing and being boredom. And that's what I would like the viewers to remember and the listeners to remember, that, trust that joy does not have to be loud to be real.
Like you can catch it in everyday moments.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And I think you both shared a wonderful perspective and insights in your own generation today. I really, really appreciate you both for sharing and your presence and your honesty, because a lot of people listening to this topic can relate. This finding joy in the everyday life comes from different shapes and forms. This conversation is not about, I am right or this is how you should do. This is your experiences. And I know for sure the people at home and the listeners at home they too have experienced the same thing. And I am super grateful for both of you for sharing your story that lights up to the other stories too, representing their stories by sharing your stories. So thank you again for taking the time today.
Thank
Yes,
you.
of course. Thank you for having us.